I just wanted to buy some buzzsaws! Oh, there's a new Ruger Rabbit video out, so I'm going to be looking forward to watching that after the stream. Would these 80s action heroes survive? Survive what? Oh, it's the Running Man. Yeah, I literally... Yes. Oh, that's going to be interesting. In fact, you know, I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts, because, like, I have said, you know, like, time and time again before, like, oh yeah, I really like Ruger Rabbit, disagree with some of his politicals, but otherwise he seems like a pretty funny dude. With that said, oh, that's adorable. Well, to you too. Anyway. Random ramblings of the politicals while being literally dressed like, you know, like a Chinese warlord had sex with a British nobleman. I'm just gonna tell y'all a little story about something that's actually, well, not something, something okay, I'm just gonna talk. So, Ruger Rabbit, funny guy, usually updates his community tabs or, you know, or posts on YouTube, like teasing his next videos, like, oh, like here's the thumbnail for the next video, it's 15 Helldivers versus 1 Space Marine, or how many, so he posts stuff like, you know, like thumbnails and stuff. One of his most recent thumbnails was this thumbnail of the latest Running Man video of like, oh, would these 80s action heroes survive Running Man? And on the second slide, he made a second, I'm assuming, joke video thumbnail of would these whiners survive the Sydney Sweeney ad, and it was like multiple pictures of like the various like stereotypical woke soy jack like characters, for lack of a better word. Like one's the one with like the lady who's like talking very like enthusiastically, and that they use as like okay, well I can't show you guys right now, so I'll flash them up on screen. This lady, very famous picture of this lady with her eyeballs bulging ever so slightly and looking like she's shouting down the actual guy. Long story short, if you look at the actual like video that meme was taken from, that lady just seems like a regular ass lady.
I'm gonna play the part where her memed faces appear in. What you need to know for context is that the Trump supporter is arguing that refugees in Europe are basically rapists. I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making it up. You can watch the entire video.
Not rapists coming into, just because they're refugees doesn't mean they're fucking rapists. And no, but they're raping people in Germany. My parents are immigrants. My fucking parents are immigrants. No, not even a fucking big percentage. Tiny.
You know how many women in the U.S.
get raped? Do you know how many?
1 in every 3 women.
Fuck ton, a fuck
That means
ton.
that all Americans.
That's a crisis. There's a rape crisis. Exactly.
But if you look at what a lot of the rapes that are being reported, that is not a fact.
The number is actually 1 in 3 women is sexually assaulted, not raped. But her point was to show the dude that 1, it is a crisis in the US and not just in Europe because there's immigrants now. And that 2, his logic about immigrants is flawed.
The fact that to me, that like image of her devoid of context ends up being, you know, fucking, used as a tool to mischaracterize, you know, more progressive types, let's say. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. And the other one I had some like issue with was Anita Sarkeesian. Not in that I have a problem with Anita Sarkeesian, like, you know, just like by and large, she's just a lady. Yeah, like, yeah, like, I mean, to be honest, she's more famous for people hating her than anything she actually did outside of the time when she said, yo, I'm going to make a series of video essays talking about feminism and sexualization of women in video games. people were pissed. Yeah, just because, like, Ruger Rabbit, like, even though you say you're not a conservative, I don't think it's hating of me to say that you have some conservative-leaning opinions. I'm not saying that as an insult on its own, even though I don't agree with all your opinions. I just think that's the case, like, factually. And, which I say, you've also said, I don't really spend a lot of time with, like, communities and, like, like 90% of the time I don't know what the fuck people are getting up to. I just say my opinions and then people start getting mad and, to which I say, like, fair enough, it's a free country at time of recording, but all I'm saying is, for him, a 30-something dude to know what Gamergate, or presumably know what Gamergate was, or just nebulously, oh, this Anita Sarkeesian lady, she's probably a dingle hopper and a half because she has opinions of video games. And, like, okay, I say all of this to say, despite me, having some political disagreements with Ruger Rabbit, I do accept the fact that unlike most conservative-leaning commentators, he is actually a media-literate dude. The critical drinker is just not a media-literate dude. I guess that was just a whole lot of verbal diarrhea of saying, yo, it's a bit unfortunate that this guy is, I maybe not technically said, but gestured towards some, like, propagandistic bits and bobs. What do I actually think on the Sydney Sweeney ad? Basically, I feel like, at least again, in my opinion, blah-de-blah-de-blah, for better and worse, my echo chamber is mostly made up of at least sensible progressive takes, which is to say, I do not think that Sydney Sweeney, herself is personally racist, or fascist, or what have you. But, big but, one does not have to be, a fascist or fascist sympathizer explicitly in order to dog whistle or propagate certain viewpoints. Just like how, for example, Ruger said, like, essentially something along the lines of, like, I don't care about gays, I just don't like the gay community because, because they're a bit cringe, but if you're a guy who likes guys or a lady who likes ladies, then I don't care, you do you. And that, to which I say, fair enough, again, it's a free country, but that the viewpoint is at the very least to some degree shaped by, I guess, the oversimplification of, I'm assuming, to what the gay community to him appears like, to some degree being, like, shaped by, various, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess, like, obfuscations of the most extreme versions of any community just being, like, loud to each other on the sidelines and excluding nuance. And, yeah, basically that. That's about as much as I want to say because I want to get back to the videos game. Long story short, those dudes made some decent videos about the Sydney Sweeney situation. And Innuendo Studios, that dude more strongly articulates, like, why, like, certain, like, I guess, caricatures of the progressive left, and, like, uncritically perpetuating them is, bad and dishonest in a way, but also, this is me being parasocial as right now, so, again, sorry if this is taking the wind out of your sails. But long story short, Ruger, if you come across this, I don't think you're a bad dude. I think you're a little bit misinformed in some ways, and, but whatever, it's cool. And also, at the end of the day, I'm assuming more likely than not, in terms of, like, that second thumbnail joke thing you made about, like, Oak Winers versus the Sydney Sweeney ad. Like, fucking basically, like, I get that to you, like, it's a bit of fun, you know, I'm just having a little, like, you know, poking fun in a certain way, yeah, and it's all fun and games, you know, and I don't hugely care about politics, and, you know, I get it, you know, I'm not even taking him at his word, because he didn't explicitly say anything, as far as I remember, just, you know, I get it, you know, you personally are not a bad guy, I'm not trying to, like, bully you, or, you know, or, like, pressure you or anything. I mean, me pressure you, you know, the dude who still has subscribers in the double digits, that would be a story and a half. That would be a reverse cancelling if that ever happened. Yeah, God, reverse cancel no jutsu. Anyway.